Right, got it to bits, and I'm just going to do some close-ups of the old. I'm playing around with the new Akaso. Akaso, was it V50X, to see what that comes out like. Of the mouse damage that we have here. As you can see, it's pretty well munched. I haven't had any mice run out. I think they're long gone. I have opened a few generators in the past, especially big ones, and found there's several generations of rats living in it, merrily munching on the windings. But this just seems to have made a little house, and it's not too bad, thankfully. So I haven't heard this thing run, but apparently the owner says it does run. So we'll do some winding testing and see where that gets us. I think that's the next job. Right, pop that up there out of the way. So just out of curiosity, let's see how many ohms we've got on the windings, because there's a bit of melted plastic in there I don't like the look of. It doesn't smell horrid. The classic smell is take away the smell of mouse doo-doo. Is burnt bacon if they'd gone. That's usually what happens. Let's see what we've got, if anything. Get on there. Okay. It's not dead short. Is it down the deck? Nope. We got this one. Get on there. Oh, do get on with it. Oh, that's interesting. That's quite a bit lower. Yeah, it does look a bit black, but that just could be dirt being sucked in from the exhaust, because we do appear to be missing the old extension tube. It probably fell off, so it might have been sucking in exhaust gases, which is quite common. Slip rings don't look too bad with a bit of a clean up. That's the AVR, by the way, automatic voltage regulator. Okay. I'm not showing, is that down the deck? No, that's pretty good. So any dead shorts or anything short down the ground, or deck as I call it, you see 0.6 of an ohm there in the cables alone. Hello, we got, okay. He's messing about. That's interesting. I like these because you can grab hold of things. But it might need a bit of new cable. Let's have a look, see what we got. Okay, technically about 0.6 of an ohm there. I'm sure there's resistance, but there's no short, which is good. And that's about the same, bit higher, a little bit higher, a bit uneven. Okay, let's see what the field winding's like. These are your brushes. It's usually positive on the back one, which it looks like it is. We go red for positive. Let's see what we've got on the field. It's a rotating field most modern alternator. So if you work on really old stuff like I used to, it's quite often a static field, and they pull the power out of the field, out of the rotor, which seems a strange way of doing it these days. Ooh. Okay, 135 ohms. That's interesting. It's a bit old. I wonder if I need to get onto our slip rings directly, because they might be just a bit grubby. Oh, I might have to take that out. Let's take it out. Oh look, they've even marked up positive and negative on there. You don't get that on the Chinese ones, but we generally assume the back brush is the positive. Right, come here, little monkey. Here you come. Okay, it's done a bit because they just got a bit stuck. Yeah, they are grotty as hell. Let's see if I can get directly onto the slip ring. Yeah, here we go, all sorts of readings, here we come. Get on there and get right on that brass bit there, that should help. That one there. Yeah, depending on where you're getting a connection or not at all as it may be. About 60 ohms around the ground, so that's good. I think what we're going to do is lash up the control panel, which is on the floor over there, tomorrow. Clean all this mess out, and we'll lash up the control panel and a dummy feed, and see if we can get it going and do some measurements as to what's coming out. Because sometimes if these are left unused for a very long period of time, they lose their initial magnetism. The core, the rotor, has a residual magnetism, and they produce, with nothing else going on, around about 15 volts on a single phase unit like this. And then that goes straight into the AVR, gets rectified and shoved straight back into the field again very quickly. So you go from 15 volts out to your 240, and the AVR then controls the excitation current, which controls, as the load goes up and down, controls your output. If they lose that residual magnetism, they don't produce any residual volts on their own without an AVR or any kind of input, and of course they won't do anything. But if you flash up the rotor with the 12 volt battery across using the brushes without the AVR connected and give it some flashbang wallop, quite often that's enough to kick them into life, and then you can reconnect the AVR and it'll generate, and then stick a heavy load on it and generate some magnetism for a few hours, and then generally all right again after that. So that is our next step. I will clear up this mess and we'll get it lashed up, nothing like a good lash up, and see if we can tune for maximum smoke. I think it's the best thing to do tomorrow. So until tomorrow, which of course will be a nanosecond for you guys, but until tomorrow it is. Right, got some test gear rigged up, dummy fuel tank, and let's give it a go and see what happens. I found a key that will kind of sort of work, so let's give it a... Okay, right. Right, we have precisely 1.3 volts coming out of one winding. These machines are wired with 220 volt windings, and if you wire them in series, as you get 240 volts at the ends, and if you wire them in parallel, you get 120 volts, but twice the current. That's how these machines are wound. So if I stick that on the other winding and see what we can see if that's produced. We have a little bit of residual, but just not enough to make it do anything. It's probably lost its magnetism. Well, I noticed the charging circuit on the battery's working, so that side it works. Just give it another quick go and have a look. Yeah, we're getting 0.3 of a volt, now that shows up on the camera, that winding. So, what we need to do... Right, recording stopped all of a sudden, so I don't know how much of we got of that. It says memory card is full, which is a bit worrying because I didn't think it was. But anyway, this is a bridge rectifier on a huge heatsink because it was a bit of alley-eyed kicking around. I use it for charging batteries that may not be so good anymore. I need a bit of a kick up the backside. So what we're going to do, remembering that positive goes on the back brush, which is that one now. Nice fat fingers won't get in there. Oops, again there. That goes on there, and the negative on the front brush. That on there. And what we do, we have a 110 volt transformer. Just because it gets rid, you know, our 240 volt supply, I need to get it down and it's easier to do it this way. And then I have a Variac, which is just a big variable supply here, and make sure that's right down. Unfortunately the meter got broken, so I need to replace that. But I just want to see if by sticking a little bit of energy into the field, we start getting some volts out, which is so ideally if I can hook this on, whoops, to our bridge rectifier here. It's all a bit of a kind of lash up, but I don't know whether it'll stay in there. I don't want it to short out, that's the main thing. Hopefully that will give us DC volts. We shouldn't need a lot, so that's off. That's on. So we'll start it up again and see what we get. Hopefully something. Wherever the key went, did that fall on the floor? Probably. Right, there we go. Because it's not the right key, I haven't got the key for it. So, right. Right, I haven't got a connection on here. That one's not connecting very well. Just wanted to see what we're shoving in the field winding, really, to make sure we're not overdoing it. Because we've got a little bit of volts coming out as I started to up what the Variac is doing. I'd just like to see what's coming out of that bridge. So, right, take 3. Let's see. Right, I was up to nearly 20 volts on the field, and I was only getting like 4 or 5 volts out of the unit itself. That's not good. I should have been getting more volts, so we're going to have to do a bit of digging. I think I'll take a lot more stuff off and get stuck into it. I have a suspicion this is probably toast. But this is a quick way of just sort of, it didn't look too bad. The windings didn't show too bad, but there's no point winding loads of current into this. All we do is get very hot and smoke, and that'll be that. So I don't want to spend loads of time on it, because obviously the customer's paying for it, and a new generator head is probably more than it's worth, because the cunning thing, all these, where a lot of stuff you have the engine and side casing, then the this bit goes on. This end housing is the end of the crankcase as well, so you can't put a generic Chinese 5 kilowatt or 4 kilowatt unit on here, because it won't fit this engine, which means you've got to go to Honda, and this will be eye-watering amount of money to fix. So anyway, we will disconnect all this, and when I've got organised, we'll do a bit more testing. I think is in order. Hi, it's Al Duffer. And I really feel like one. I've been trying to do this video on this generator, and I made a complete pig's ear of it. Hopefully the bits you'll see will be of use to someone, and I'll zoom in a bit so you can see where I got to, where I've lost footage, and it's just been one of those jobs that, yeah, complete idiot. Anyway, basically, after much more testing from the point the video comes to an end, this has gone high resistance, not mega high, but it's high enough so it doesn't work. It's all obsolete, you can't get it from Honda. and Honda use their own specific taper, so I can't fit something else in there. I'm going to get the price on a rewind, because to replace this machine today, new, will probably be about £4 grand, and there's nothing wrong with the rest of it. It's the usual problems with these. So and it needs an extension put on the exhaust to make sure it doesn't recirculate exhaust gases. That's what's done this in. It's an exhaust gas being sucked in, gone through and out the bottom, and of course it's got overhot and barbecued the windings. Real shame really, but there's not much you can do about it. And it just grieves me to throw all this in the bin. You know, so we will see if we can get a rewind, and I'll come back to you on that and see if we can, and what it's going to cost, and we'll do some numbers and see if the customer's happy to go ahead. So till next time, as they say.